Hi, I'm Juan de la Cruz, your host for this webinar. Few housekeeping items first prior to the webinar presentation. Please make questions throughout the webinar, and the presenter will answer the questions after the presentation. Okay, let's start with the webinar presentation. We are so fortunate to have our speaker for this morning. He graduated at San Juan de Dios Educational Foundation Incorporated College with the course of Bachelor of Science in Nursing and Master's degree in Nursing at Trinity University of Asia. Studied Health Informatics course at De La Salle University, Manila. He also recently finished his doctorate degree, Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing at University of the Philippines, Manila, and currently working at St. Luke's Medical Center, Quezon City, as the Director of Nursing Service. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a big round of applause to Dr. Giancarlo De Jesus. Thank you very much, Mr. Juan de la Cruz, for the introduction. Good morning, head nurses of the Philippine Orthopedic Center. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar presentation to give you presentation on change management. Okay, let's start first with the objectives of this webinar presentation. At the end of the webinar, the head nurses of the Philippine Orthopedic Center will be able to define meaning of change management, utilize the change management process, share different experiences in the change management in the workplace. Are you all excited? Okay, in this next slide, we have different words or phrases that is related to change management, like resistance, new, improve, manage, initiatives, and all the words that you can see in your screen. Now, let us define change. Let's define change management. I got this definition from Wikipedia. Change management is an approach to transitioning individuals, teams, and organizations to a desired future state. In some project management contexts, change management refers to a project management process wherein changes to a project are formally introduced and approved. On the next slide, we have 4 key features of change management. Change is the result of dissatisfaction with present strategies. It is essential to develop a vision for a better alternative. Management have to develop strategies to implement change. There will be a resistance to change. In this picture, we have people that are resistant to change. As you can see, you can read all the dialogues there. Maybe they are used to the old, some of them, they are used to the old management and not open to the new management in the company or institution. Also, there are people that are very open to the change. They are called innovators or change agents. They are people that initiate change in the company. They are the one. Okay. In this slide, we have Lewin's model. There are forces driving change and forces restraining it. Where there is equilibrium between the two sets of forces, there will be no change. In order for change to occur, the driving force must exceed the restraining force. Levin's analysis can be used to investigate the balance of power involved in an issue, identify the key stakeholders on the issue, identify opponents and allies, identify how to influence the target groups. Also, there are some examples of the forces that drive change. They include the internal forces. Some examples of internal forces are desire to change profitability, reorganization to increase efficiency, conflict between departments, and to change organizational culture. And for the external forces, we have customer demand, competition, cost of inputs, legislation and taxes, political, ethics and social values, and technological change. In this next slide, we have step change versus incremental change. Change can also be defined in terms of the significance and speed of change. Common distinction is made between step change and incremental change. Okay, let's have first the step change. Okay, step change, dramatic or radical change in one fell swoop, radical alteration in the business, get it over with quickly, and may require some coercion. In incremental change, we have the ongoing piecemeal change, which takes as part of an organization's evolution and development, and it tends to more inclusive. So now we have the difference there in step change and incremental change. Okay, in the next slide we have the change management process. Okay, wait a minute. We have here the change management process. Okay. We have there 5 phases. First phase is assess for change. That is to conduct an assessment, pinpoint opportunities. That is for the phase 1. And we now move for the phase 2. Prepare for change. Align change vision and strategy. Clarify roles and prioritize action. Establish measurement. Okay, for the phase 3, plan for change, develop an implementation plan, and develop a communication plan. That is for the phase 3. And let's move to the phase 4, implement the change, take action and communicate, coach and facilitate for results. Another is deal with gaps and resistance. And the last for the phase 4, recognize results. As you done for the phase 4, we may proceed to the phase 5, which is sustaining the change. First is integrate learning and results. Conduct a closeout and evaluation. Okay, that is for the change management process. Maybe in your respective area or wards in Philippine Orthopedic Center, you can implement those changes and follow this change management process. Okay, In this next slide, we have four aspects of change management that was proposed by Jurgen Appelo in his book entitled How to Change the World: Change Management 3.0. Maybe some of you already read his book. Maybe you can relate uh, in these four aspects of change management. Okay. First, we have dance with the system. Plan, do, check, act. That is on the first picture. And in the second picture on your upper right, that is mind the people, ability, knowledge, desire, awareness, reinforcement. And on the third picture on your lower left, stimulate the network, that is instigators, early developers, early majority, and late majority and laggards. On your lower right, we have the change or transform the environment. We have the information, identity, incentives, infrastructure, institution. Okay, that is the four aspects of change management by Georgian Appelo. Okay, in this next slide, as you can see, it is a picture of an iceberg. Maybe some of you that already have about tour on the other country by sailing on the boat, on the ship. Maybe some of you already the a big iceberg, or maybe if you already watched the movie Titanic. I assume that most of you watched that because it became famous and blockbuster movie. Anyway, let's discuss about this iceberg and what is that is related to change management. Uh, this picture on iceberg is made by Kruger. As you can see on the top of the iceberg, as per Kruger, many change managers merely believe the top of the iceberg. We have there the quality, cost, and time. That is issue management. And under the surface of the iceberg, uh, we even saw, or under the surface of the water, there are two more attributes of change and implementation management. There are two. One is management of beliefs and perceptions, and the last one is politics and power management. What kind of abstractions originate and what kind of implementation management is accordingly required relies on number one, kind of change, uh, difficult things only like processes, information systems, just scrubs the surface, and gentle things also like mindsets, capabilities, and values is much more sound. The second one is the employed change strategy, evolutionary, impressive change as in business process reengineering. And lastly, for the employed change strategy is the evolutionary addictive change as in Kaizen. Okay, to conclude, I will ask of you, can you initiate change? Okay, well, if you ask me that question, I will say my big yes. Uh, Head nurses of Philippine Orthopedic Center, let me share to you the story of René Laennec. Some of you know him or know the story of René. Okay, okay. Let's see how he able to change or invented something for the change. In 1816, a French doctor, that is René Laennec, encountered a dilemma that forever changed the face of medicine, and this disease diagnosis in particular. That day, he consulted by a woman who complained of severe chest pains, most likely to be diagnosed by cardiovascular disease. The case could have been easier if it's not for the woman's stoutness. Not that he intended to discriminate, but the shy doctor explained that the lady's degree of fatness inhibited him from taking note of her heartbeats and breathing by merely application of his hand. Moreover, he deemed that direct auscultation would be inappropriate and embarrassing for the lady. To solve his dilemma, he rolled up paper and tied two cylinders with string, while he placed the other paper cylinder against the patient's chest. He listened against the paper cylinder for patterns of heartbeat and breathing. It was particularly awkward at first, as some patients are not used to such improvisation and some doctors have developed expertise on direct auscultation. But René Laennec kept a record of patterns of percussion corresponding to the underlying disease. He improved his instrument by designing by using pine wood and shunned criticisms from the detractors, with the result that his invention became useful not only for cardiology but also for obstetrics and orthopedics. It is now we it is what we know now as the stethoscope. Okay, I know that some of you are inspired by the life of Dr. Laennec, and because the first time that I read his story, I was inspired to do a change in my company or institution. Now, I will ask you again, can you initiate change? Mm-hmm. Okay, I believe you will answer yes. I exhort all of you that whatever position you have in your company or institution, you can initiate change. In these changes, you and your company will grow. There may be an obstacle along the way which will challenge your character as change agent. But be strong that this change that you made will also influence your people. Like in the old saying, I know some of you already know this. There is no permanent in this world except change. Um Also, don't be shy or don't be distracted to make a change institution, or company. Maybe in the near future, you will be the next Dr. Rene Laennec, and this could change the world. So don't be hesitate on the thing. Okay? This also to end, let me share to you a quote from Charles Darwin. Maybe some of you know him. He is the one that is has a theory on evolution. But let me share to you his quote. It is not the strongest species that survive, nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. That is from Charles Darwin. Okay? Uh, Thank you for listening, and God bless change agents. Thank you very much, Dr. Giancarlo Desus. I believe our participants are now all inspired and eager for the change. Do you have questions? Feel free to type it on the space provided on your upper right corner, and we will answer all that questions. I think all of our participants are very satisfied from this webinar. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. We will also have evaluation for this webinar. Kindly email it to me at juandelacruz@yahoo.com as you log out. We will also email you a video recorded of this webinar for your references. Okay, thank you again, and God bless.